Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by JL Financial Solutions. If you're an Albertan looking to plan your financial future, you want someone you can trust. Together with Sun Life's estate and financial planning services, JL Financial Solutions will develop a plan you can be confident in to grow and protect your wealth. Give Jonathan Lambert and his team a call at 780-733-0910.
Crack out the shipwreck rum. Oilers are down 2-0. I know I've poured myself a generous cup here as we prepare for the down 0-2 for the Edmonton Oilers as they lose 4-1 in Florida. They'll make their way home tomorrow. Doing the pod from my long shot studio here in my office. Lit a candle. Smells great if anyone's interested. At Long Shots, all Oilers game nights during the playoffs. All you can eat wings, $25 a person. Visit Long Shots in Sherwood Park to get your fix of wings. 4-1, the Oilers lose. Give you a little town of what's coming up here. They'll spend the night in Florida. Team dinner, I'm guessing. Ice things down, figure out who's hurt, who's not hurt, who's suspended, who's not suspended. Get on the plane tomorrow, fly home on the bird, all the way from Florida. Back to Edmonton for game 3 on Thursday. I'm guessing a light skate Wednesday, and then Thursday, is it a must win? A capital M and a capital T. Must win. Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. The pod is brought to you by our title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC. We're all super excited the Oilers have made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and so are our friends at Sherwood Buick GMC. To celebrate this moment, the Sherwood Buick GMC team is celebrating by offering an incredible deal on their Sierra 1500s. Get ready to drive away with the best deal in town. Release a new 2024 Sierra 1500 for just $450 per month for 24 months at 4.95%. Sorry, just 4.9. If any of you listeners out there interested in taking advantage of this deal, make sure to visit the crew at Sherwood Buick GMC on 10 Automall Road or online at www.gmcpod.com. Tell your friends, join us here on the pod. We got Brownie Rishaug, who's making his way to his vehicle to make the long journey back to his hotel from Sunrise Arena. Or Sunrise area. Shoggy, 4-1 loss for the Oilers. What is your gut telling you the big issue for the Oilers tonight?
The big issue for the Oilers tonight, I think Conor McDavid summed it up pretty good after the game, buddy. Like McDavid said, they found another level and we didn't match it. You know, we were wondering, and we'll get into all the details here in the breakdown, but it felt like the Oilers might have let one slip away in game 1 because we were thinking that perhaps the Panthers weren't going to play that poorly again, and the Oilers missed an opportunity. And tonight's game is an indication that even more so, buddy. Like, I think that is much more what the Florida Panthers actually are, that the Oilers got a taste of tonight. So it's not a great situation. That is for sure. I just came from the locker room here a short time ago, and they're trying to stay positive and McDavid's saying the right things. Draisaitl taking accountability, all those things. But dropping these two, the odds drop significantly, and it's tough, buddy. They got to figure out a way to break through.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to hammer through here. There is so much to cover. If for those of you who didn't watch the game, the Oilers lose 4-1. There was a player kicked out. Multiple players left the game injured. Some come back, some didn't. You've got a power play that didn't score, a penalty kill that got scored on for the Oilers for the first time in a long time. So let's get to this whole situation. Start piece by piece, breaking this down for you Oilers fans. The breakdown is brought to you by Adrenaline Diesel. They specialize in heavy-duty truck and trailer repair, performance, tuning, parts, and sales. Adrenaline Diesel has 7 gigantic bays, and there's not much they can't figure out for you. The whole crew has extremely high standards. They'll leave your truck in great shape, like it's right out of the factory. Go to adrenalinediesel.ca. All right, Shogger. 1 goal in 6 periods, and of course, it was by the D-men, the backbone of any team. So let's start right there at the top. Many more chances many more chances in the first game. Tonight, I'm not sure I could get past my first 4 fingers and 1 thumb to figure out how many 5-on-5 chances they had tonight, Shogger. And that's everybody in the game for the Oilers.
Yeah, there definitely weren't many. Sorry, it's going to be loud here for a second. People are rolling these garbage carts past me, and it's like insanely loud. So sorry about that, pal. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we need to start with Leon Draisaitl and Conor McDavid, right? I think there's a lot of blame to go around. I think that we can talk about all the other players. There were some bad performances tonight to talk about, but you're through 2 games of the Stanley Cup Final here, and you got 1 assist out of those 2. It's just not enough. Those guys are the tip of the spear offensively, and I think McDavid's line was the most dangerous tonight, and it felt like you were just waiting for them to get back on the ice so that the Oilers could maybe try and generate some offense. But those guys, they need to fight their way through it, and they need to come up with more than they've come up with so far, no question. And until they do, it's going to be a slog because it feels like the rest of the lineup has next to no chance of generating offense the way they're playing against this Florida team.
Florida Panthers are doing a masterful job of having their sticks in the lanes, especially in the first period. How many times do we see, whether it's 5-on-5 or 5-on-4, which they call power play down in Florida, getting their stick in the lanes and just, knocking pucks away or making the Oilers change their passing lane, or getting sticks on puck and the pucks, elevating over the glass or whatever into the glass. Their sticks are so detailed and so on. And when you think back to game 1, the Rodriguez goal in that one, Nurse has a stick in the air and it just goes by him. The Panthers are so dialed into their stick placement that it is unreal. Any one of those guys could come coach at the Jason Strudwick D-Man camp and be an asset for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The margin to find offense is so slim because Florida just, such good sticks. They're always in the shooting lanes. They're always in the passing lanes. They always get their sticks in, when the Oilers feel like they might have a split second to get a shot off. And you have to make a conscious effort to just continue to get pucks on net. They had nothing. They had nothing through 40 minutes of play. And barely any dangerous stuff. Now, they hit some posts, and Chris Knobloch talked about that. And it can be difference-making, more on the power play than anything. But at even strength, the Panthers they are so dialed. They are so good defensively. And they're just, you got to figure out a way to generate a look. Whoever you are, generate a look. The Oilers they generated so few in the way of even strength looks tonight. And so, like McDavid, we ran a highlight back on TSN of him. He had the puck on his stick a ton, but they just did a great job of keeping him to the outside in the offensive zone. And, they've got some specialists at doing that, Struds. And those guys, Draisaitl in particular, Draisaitl of the 2 of them definitely had the quieter night. I know we're thinking there might be an injury there. Everybody's playing through some stuff here, but I don't know what you thought of Leon Draisaitl, pal.
Yeah, and I feel like this is, a bit unfair, but today we saw quite a few times standing still, trying to do a cross-ice pass, especially in the neutral zone. At least 2 times we saw that. And against Florida, that's just not going to work. They're backtracking so hard. And I go back to my previous point, his stick, their sticks are in the lane. They're taking away and picking off passes all over the place. So, I think that, and it's hard to suggest this, but if you're not sure what to do with the puck and you're in the neutral zone, the play is to put it behind their D and then go in forecheck because they're not counterpunching, right? They're not counterpunching the other way. And quite frankly, we saw it on the first goal against Darnay gets the puck and he tries to make a pass, to the blue line. That player, I think it was Kane, I might be wrong, but he's under pressure. Just chip that puck into the corner now. We're going to go chase it down there, make their D-man turn, make them, go back and get the puck. There's a time to make plays, but there's also a time just to understand, we're just going to punt this forward. We're going to play in their zone. Because, seconds later, that puck went off of I think it was actually their D-man Makela, rips it off their goalie, goes up, and then it's in their net, moments later. So there's just that understanding, and it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
But just every now and then, those plays at the offensive blue and defense, we'll get into the defensive blue line one, but that's an important one. Just take what you got sometimes, and sometimes there's nothing there, but we'll be patient. We'll wait and hope to have something better come up later in the game.
Well, and then a tough penalty at a tough time for Leon Draisaitl there. And you know me, I'm all for guys being physical. Like, I'm not going to be a hypocrite there. You want guys finishing checks, but I mean, you can't make that play. You can't hop a little bit and drive your arms into the guy's head, and it's just not a good play. And at that point in the game, that was absolutely critical. And of all the times for the penalty kill to bend didn't get broken the way it did. So, and I know fans are going to be mad about a whole bunch of missed calls in their mind and Chuck on McDavid and all that stuff. I don't know. You can entertain some of it if you want, Struds, but bottom line, and like their first power play, I didn't like their first power play at all. They came out and were just way too fancy, trying to pass it. Like McDavid taking it from prime shooting positions and passing off to the flank, where the Panthers are they're waiting for it. They're sitting there waiting for it. They sit there with their sticks, not quite in the lane, and they're expecting it, and there it comes, and their stick goes in the lane, and it's gone. They're brilliant at making it look like there's something there and then taking it away, because they've scouted this team, man. They know what they want to do. And the Oilers power play started far too cute tonight. And yes, they had some chances. Bottom line, they were over. And if this power play is going over, there's no chance they're winning this series. 0.
Yeah, so I'd use the word baited. So what they do is they have their stick out of the passing lane and give you a passing lane, and then they wait. And as soon as you pass it, they move their stick into the passing lane. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant way of doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're right. They
and
do know
ton of it.
Yeah. Now, the flip side of that is they did have multiple posts, and there was opportunities for some of those pucks to go in, and it's so tight. Now, if those are 3 or a half inch inside of the post, we're talking maybe about a different outcome. But there's also the reality, though. This is now 2 games where there have been other posts in other games and other opportunities. They had 2 breakaways last game, or 3 breakaways, and there's no goals. So, I know people always talk about sample size, but in the Stanley Cup Final, you get 7 samples if you're lucky, and sometimes less, 6, 5, 4 games. So we're 2 games in, and they're having a tough time scoring. I think the scoring is a really important conversation to have. For those that don't check the stat sheet regularly, Brett Kulak led the Oilers with 5 shots. Now there was others with missed attempts and some block shots. I get that, but when we're talking about actual shots on net, I love Brett Kulak. He's a good D-man, but if he's leading their team in shots, Florida is doing cartwheels. They're thrilled with that outcome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's really something how a team that commits to a certain style of defensive play, and when they all do it like Struds, and it's all of them. They have some defensive specialists for sure, and some guys that really know how to do it. But they have the ability to basically, they put whoever they want out there, and those guys still adhere to the system and play the game. I mean, their least used forward still played 8 minutes and 14 seconds in that game. That was Laurent. But it's a well-coached team. They got a great system going. And yeah, man, it's kind of crazy seeing the Oilers this stymied offensively, through 2 games here to have gotten so little. And I know they were goalied in the first game, but man, unreal that they weren't able to get more. They haven't been able to generate more offense.
And that's definitely a concern. So, the offense is obviously a challenge for this group, especially when the guy who scored it was Matthias Ekholm. And nothing against Matthias, it was a nice goal. Kind of unlikely too. Bobrovsky doesn't get beat 5-hole very often, if ever. And that's where he went. So I thought that was interesting. And then, the power play, no goals. So let's talk about a couple of these situations, because it was a high event game and kind of a lower scoring game. I know that the Florida got to 4-1. Thoughts on the Foegele hit? Foegele knee on knee they got him a 5 minutes penalty, game misconduct.
Yeah, I was fine with the call. I think he moved his leg. Yeah, I think it was a bad hit. I think it was a bad hit. And again, I want players to be aggressive. I want players to play hard and be aggressive. But I was okay with the call. And funny enough, that the end result of that 5-minute major was a 1-0 lead for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Kind of bizarre as that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knobloch tried to make it sound like the Bennett hit on Bouchard was similar to the Fogle hit, and I disagree. I think Bennett, it was a trip for sure, not a great hit, but I think Fogel's was more dangerous, and I think he clearly moved the leg a little bit more. You?
My phone exploded when that hit happened. Even my wife texted me, and she's like, "That's not
Which
a 5
one?
minute." I said, "The 5 minute on Fogel." I said, "That's 5 minutes all night long." That just like Donkey Kong, it is 5 minutes all night long. You can see he moves his leg out into his spot, like he actually and braces for contact. He knew what was coming, and it happens fast. I get it. Everything happens fast in the NHL. That's what happens. But I firmly believe that is a 5-minute major. I don't believe it's suspension, but 5-minute major. The player came back, and he stayed down on the ice. But I think at times, because if that happened to Evan Bouchard, people would be losing it. Absolutely. If that was Sam Bennett on Evan Bouchard, the Oilers fans would be losing. So I think that was the right call.
Well, it was Sam
call.
Bennett on Evan Bouchard. It just wasn't exactly the same. It was a different
honestly,
hit.
I didn't think that was even that bad. I didn't think that. We saw actually 2 penalties by Florida where they kind of clipped the Oilers. Once on Janmark and once on Connor, and they kind of turned backwards and kind of clipped them. That I thought it was similar to the Bennett one on Bouchard. I didn't think that was even close to a 5. It's not even in the same area code as a 5-minute major.
Yeah. Struds, there's some good action on the stream. I've got my iPad and I've got the YouTube stream up, and there's some comments on this one. Pretty polarizing here, Zuby. Like Nate Hay just flat out says Ryan is wrong here, so strongly disagrees with me. Daniel Bryan says, I'm not a hockey player, but Fogel's hit is 2 minutes in my books. Rip City Step says Bennett stuck out his knee more, in my opinion. Noel Rinsky, regular contributor, says, I agree with Ryan on both the Fogle hit and the Bennett hit.
And J-Dub says more intent from Bennett, which I would probably agree with.
Yeah. So, Zuby, you're more on the side. You think Bennett's hit was worse than the Fogle hit?
You thought there was more intent on Bennett's hit than
Fogel's? More intent, but not as, but like more, he was
intense.
But no. I think the major on Fogle was the correct call because of the where the contact was and the way his knee turned out, like the technicality of it. But I think Bennett was the one trying to stick his knee out.
Fogel stuck his leg out. His knee was way out there.
Yeah, no, I think Fogle was a major. But I think I think it's more in the
point you're making on this intent thing.
That's like
Fogle
saying
intended
Jason
to stick his knee out. He stuck it out.
Yeah, it's like saying Strudwick doesn't mean to go bald, so he's not bald. I am going bald. That's what's happening out there. Fogel stuck his leg out, and you could see he pushes out and braces for it. I thought, what was it, Lister Ryan, 8-2, whatever his name. I thought he was really hurt. Now he came back, and but I'm sorry, Zub. You and I see eye to eye on a lot of things, including movies, but that one I cannot get on the same page, man.
All right, maybe I think I'm maybe not expressing myself well enough. That's okay though. I think Fogel's was a major. I think they got the calls right, but I think Bennett was more trying to. I think Fogle was more reactionary, and Bennett was
split-second reaction. Yeah. Struddy, should we indulge just for a minute? A lot of people on the stream are angry about missed calls, right? Whether it's Bennett on Broberg, whether it's Tkachuk on McDavid. There are some who feel like it is a big part of the narrative in the story tonight. Normally we don't indulge in this, but
I know I'm happy to go down that road.
Let's go down that road a little bit here. Zuby, we can start with you. What are you seeing on the stream on the anger from fans, and then Strud, you can bring the reality check.
Sorry, on which spot? I'm still talking about this. I just was looking at the stream.
No, on the refs. On the refs
calls.
Missing calls on the Panthers. And there's a lot of people super angry on the stream here, feeling like the Oilers got jobbed in some way.
Yeah, I think there's a fair bit of that. I feel like there were a lot missed. For me personally, I thought there were calls missed both ways. And again, the ones I feel like Bennett, Draisaitl, Fogle, I feel like they got those calls right. I feel like so there was a lot missed, but I don't know. There are people, certainly the general feeling is that the Oilers were on the wrong end of the officiating tonight.
Ready?
Okay. I try not to get too worked up about, but I could not disagree more. I think that when you look at it, and I know that the Hockey Night in Canada panel was talking about Fogel's hit, they got the wrong call. I can't even imagine why they think that or say that. I couldn't disagree with them more. He stuck his leg out intentionally and buckled another player's knee. That I would lose it if I was on that team, and I would come looking for vengeance on that player in a very negative way. So that is an easy one. The hit on Draisaitl, this is what I didn't like, or Draisaitl on Barkov. I didn't like that. If the refs didn't see it in real time, who saw it? Was it the linesman? And can linesmen now call 2-minute minors? That's what I didn't like. Like I thought, and it might have changed it. Linesmen can only call a 5-minute major. They can't call 2-minute. So if the refs didn't see it or didn't see it from the right angle, and quite honestly, how could they see it? Because it was right elbow, it was against the wall, and no ref was in that area. I don't know how they made that call. I just have a trouble with it. But and then even if you want to talk about Tkachuk on Conor McDavid punched him in the face over top of the linesman with his stick in his hand. To me, that should have been a penalty. I actually thought he would get a penalty in that moment. There's another time where Conor McDavid was in the corner wrestling with Ekblad, kept him out of the play 5-on-4 so that his team had more space. That's interference. So we can go play this game all night. I love an eye for an eye, but I don't think the refs cost the Oilers this game. B, if the Oilers think the refs cost them this game, they're going to be done mighty quickly in this series, Shogger.
Can I?
Yeah, no, I think we've given it enough time. It was. I think there were missed calls both ways. I can understand why other fans. There were some pretty large moments where they feel there could have been a call, and the McDavid breakaway was one of them. So I get it. I get the way fans feel, but I believe that it goes both ways. So we can move on from that. So we got a pretty clip of McDavid, guys.
Well, hang on, Shogger. Just while we're on this, there's lots of people also asking about the missed puck over glass. Do you want to address that?
That's going to be my Struds roll.
Okay.
I got it. That's my Struddies roll. That's my Struds roll.
Okay. I've got a legitimate thought on this too, and I look forward to your Struddies World, Strud, because I have a theory going right now, bud. So I look forward to Struddies World to see if your Struddies World matches my theory.
I do want to, a lot of people are chiming in. I love all these comments. Don't think I don't like it. They're talking about the rear naked choke Ekblad had on Bouchard. So if you didn't see it, if you didn't watch the game, there's a scrum. I believe this was when it happened with Barkov and Draisaitl. And Ekblad puts a rear naked choke on Bouchard. And Bouchard taps his wrist. Now, that's one way of handling it. Another is to punch the guy in the head as hard as you can or hit him in any way you can to get him off you because he's rear naked choking. You're tapping out in that moment. Hey, man, you're choking me. Yeah, I know you're choking me. Like, I saw that. I'm like, you just do whatever you need to. The refs, what's he going to say? He's choking me. Take him down. I would have liked to seen a more angry reaction in that moment than just, hey, someone's choking me out here, buddy.
He had he had it dug in pretty good too. So, I've never really had a full rear naked choke on me like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does it not kind of feel like if you move too much, you just make it worse and you'll black out? Like, you almost have to be careful. Could he have
don't let it get to that point
around, or
do not let it get to that point. Try to twist it around, take it to the ground, like anything. Like, just don't let the advantage. Like Ekblad, who is Ekblad? What is he doing? Eric Ekblad. That's not George LaRock floating around out there. Yes, he has a mighty beard, but do not accept that from him. It's like, what are you doing?
We got to hear from him.
I couldn't believe it.
No, fair point, buddy. We got to hear from Conor McDavid, guys. We've gone too long here.
Okay, let's get to Conor McDavid, but we'll get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Hold on, I got a technical problem. Oh, I'm back. Okay, Weiss Johnson soundbox brought to you by Weiss Johnson. Dennis and the team at Weiss Johnson are so hyped up about being back in the Stanley Cup Final and Edmonton ending the Canadian team not win the cup drought that they're giving away a free 16-SEER air conditioner when the Oilers win the cup. Enter now at WeissJohnson.com today. Hit the contact us button.
Did I jump it? Did you add one more line?
I love it though. Hit the contact us button and tell us who your favorite Edmonton Oilers is, and it'll be entered in the draw to win a brand new air conditioner from Weiss Johnson. Let's hear from Conor McDavid about what he expects from his team moving forward.
It's exciting. It's another opportunity for our group to come together and dig our way out. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult. And I'm excited to see what our group's made of. I'm excited to see our group come together. I'm excited to see us fight through adversity, and looking forward to people doubting us again. We're good with the backs against the wall.
There's no doubt about it. Let's hear about from. Yeah, I mean, I think he's right. I mean, listen, it is an old adage. You're not done till you lose a game at home. And coming back Thursday, they'll travel tomorrow, practice Wednesday, Thursday. There's a lot of things in there though right now. The status of Nurse, does Fogle get any additional games? I doubt it. But they win Thursday, and we're rocking again, right? Everyone's back in this bad boy.
There was a comment on the stream here. I can't find it. Somebody named Dan. Thanks for joining us, Dan. Didn't like a question that I asked McDavid. Just looking for it here. It was along the lines of, what are you going to be working on? Rishaug asked the greatest player in the world right now. So Dan feels like it's unfair for anybody to ever ask Conor McDavid what he might be trying to work on moving forward, so that, he scores a goal in the Stanley Cup Final, Dan. Like, McDavid is not above being able to look at his own game and talk about some things that maybe he thinks he needs to do better. Leon Draisaitl was certainly willing to do it tonight. Conor McDavid has been doing as much as anybody, but he hasn't been up to his own standards, Struddy. Completely fair to ask Conor McDavid, what do you got to work on here, man? Like, the points aren't coming. But Dan, that's just doing the job, man. I don't know, Struds, what do you think?
Yeah, I see 97 is working his ass off, literally working his ass off. He's digging in, he's playing hard, he's doing, I talked about the play where he kept Ekblad out of the front of the net. I thought that was a really smart play by him. I'm looking at the other side of the ledger. I think the Panthers are doing a great job. They are, and not so much game one, but game two. When I saw the Panthers play in previous series, this is what they look like. This is the Panthers I see. They love to forecheck, and they had some great shifts in the offensive. They love to hold on to pucks in the offensive zone. They back check hard. Their sticks are in the lanes. Like, it's just really hard to get shots to net. That is what they did to choke out the Rangers in the Western or in the Eastern Conference. So Rob Brown now joins us. Brownie, talking about Conor McDavid and just basically in a nutshell, we've talked about the lack of our inability of the Oilers to score so far, and the way the Florida's played.
Well, I was listening to you there, and 100%. We saw the Florida Panthers tonight. The first 40 minutes of game one, that wasn't the Panthers. The third period of game one, you started to see a little bit more, but this is how they play. They are big, they're physical, they're mean. They don't give up a lot of grade A chances. They're very good at getting in shooting lanes, passing lanes. They have layers. You talk about McDavid. There was a great shift in this game tonight where McDavid went along the top of the blue line and then turned and came back the other way. 4 different Panthers had him at one point. They just kept changing. So there's layers. It's not if Connor beats one guy, well, here comes a second guy. If he beats that guy, well, there's a third guy. The Panthers, this was a clinic on how they play. Every time you have the puck in the offensive zone, you're contested. There's no easy opportunities, and you have to earn your scoring chances. And tonight, the Edmonton Oilers didn't earn those scoring chances.
Shoggy?
Yeah, I think that's a great breakdown by Brownie. Brownie, what have you seen out of 29 and 97? Obviously, you talk about McDavid and the work that he's put in. They're through 2 games. They don't have a goal from either one of them. There's an assist in there from McDavid. They're the tip of the spear. I think it's fair to shine the spotlight on them and say what's happening with those two specifically.
I think in game one, both of them were very good and unlucky. Both of them played well enough that at the end of the night, the team should have won. They probably should have had 2 or 3 points each. In tonight's game, I thought McDavid was good, not as great as he's capable of, but good. I thought Leon looked frustrated and eventually took the penalty on Barkov late in the game, and that's a frustration penalty. But the Florida Panthers are doing a good job on both of them. I mean, if you haven't had an appreciation, I don't know if he plays in the next game, but if you haven't had an appreciation for Barkov, you certainly should now because of the way he's played against those two. Ekblad, who we talked at the end of game one, was a guy that you want to try. Ekblad was excellent in this hockey game. Like, he was excellent in this game. The Oilers are a top-heavy team. And if they're not scoring on their power play, and if their top two players aren't creating offense, they're not going to win. They're not built that way. You're not going to win a game 3-1 and your third line scores 2 goals and your fourth line gets 1. So yes, both Connor and Leon need to be better if the Oilers want to win the Stanley Cup, and both are capable of being better.
All right, guys, let's get to our YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, aiming to help you play better golf with golf fitting, instruction, after-sales support, golf merchandise, and clothing. Celebrating 25 years, check out their pro shop style atmosphere located at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. And our YouTube stream is on fire. Tons of comments coming in. We'll get to those and ask us later. But what's the poll tonight, Zuby, old dog?
All right, here's the poll. What do you blame the most for the Oilers' lack of offense in games 1 and 2? And these were the choices. Power play struggles, credit to the Panthers D, Sergei Bobrovsky, or puck luck. Those are the 4 choices we gave. There's been a number of write-in votes kind of pointing the finger at the top guys not scoring, but I'd kind of tie that into, I don't think it's a lack of try necessarily, but I think that would be, you'd say, credit to the Panthers D. So those are the 4 choices we've got. You guys anyone want a quick weigh in on that?
I think all of the above. I mean, really, all the reasons. The Oilers' power play has not scored. They won't win the Stanley Cup if their power play doesn't score. Bobrovsky was excellent in game 1, good in game 2. The Panthers are a good defensive team, and the Oilers, they haven't had a little bit of puck luck. I mean, the goal tonight by Rodriguez, the game-winning goal, goes off Kulak's butt, changes direction. The Oilers need one of those to go in for them. Having said that, they need a puck to be put on net. I don't know if you guys touched on this, Struds, but the Oilers forwards, three Oilers forwards had a shot tonight.
Yeah.
Hyman, Draisaitl, and Connor. That's it. You're not going to win the Stanley Cup.
And 6 total.
Yeah. And one by Hyman. Yeah. You're not going to win the Stanley Cup if you've got 3 guys getting shots on net from your top 12, or from your 12 forwards.
I'll jump in on this poll. I think that 2 of them or 3 of them were the first game. Tonight, it was the Panthers. This, and I said it as you were coming in, Brown, this is Panthers hockey. This is what I saw in the playoffs. They're comfortable in those games. When they're down 1-0, they're like, no problem. We're going to just keep grinding. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Because honestly, how many good 5-on-5 chances the Oilers have? Like, last game, there was quite a few, multiple. Tonight, I wouldn't have to really point many fingers to get down to one hand, I don't think, Brownie.
I agree. The McDavid breakaway, was that 5-on-5? Or was that, I don't even know if that was 5-on-5 or 4-on-4. Outside of that, did they have a grade A scoring chance 5-on-5? The Florida was excellent. This was a game that Florida, even when Florida was down 1-0, they were dominating the hockey game. This was, and 100%, this was Florida Panther hockey. This tonight was why the Florida Panthers were Stanley Cup Finals.
No, fantastic. All right, before we get to a quick break and takeaways next segment, let's get to Relentless Player of the Night, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services. If you're looking to hire level staff, your company, UCAN Youth Services, trains youth in pre-employment skills to help them get ready, willing, and able to join the team. Check out www.ucan.ca for more information. And tonight, there's a few people that got it. Unfortunately, on the Oilers team, I'm going to go with Samuel Bennett. This guy was all over the place. Everything, hits, shots, takeaways. Like he was busy. I know, Brownie, you really liked his game last game, but tonight, to me, he was very noticeable. Starting with that, somewhat illegal hit on Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, that was the right call. That was a knee. Yeah, he's been excellent. I was a Sam Bennett fan when he was with the Flames. Every time he played the Oilers, Bennett was excellent. And I was shocked when they got rid of him, especially because it was a Sutter coaching. I'm like, that's a Sutter player. He's been
Yeah.
he's probably been the best player for the Florida Panthers in 2 games, and that says a lot because Barkov's been good, Forsling's been good, Bobrovsky, but Sam Bennett has been the most noticeable player in this series for the Florida Panthers and probably for either team.
Yeah, Brownie, can you chime
Yep.
in? Because Struds and I and Zuby all had a spirited debate. How do you think the Bennett hit on Bouchard compared to the Fogle 5-minute major, and what did you think of the 5-minute major call?
Well, I knew it was going to be a 5-minute major. I said it in my texting group because their player laid down. It was that simple. Their player was injured. So as soon as their player was injured, it went from a 2 to a 5 in the referee's mind. That's my thought on it. Every penalty that I ever see, that when there's something that is a major type of penalty, I always say, okay, if that was McDavid, what would we be looking for as an Oiler fan? And if someone stuck his knee out and McDavid was laying on the ice clutching his knee, we would say that's 5 minutes and that guy probably should go to jail. So I think that because he laid down on the ice, that's why it was a 5-minute major. As far as the hit, they looked fairly similar. Fogel's maybe got a bit more, but I in all honesty, I don't know if Fogel was trying to. I think Fogel might have been just looking at the puck, trying to kick it up with his foot, because Fogel's not that kind of player. Bennett, he's that kind of player. So Bennett knew what he was doing. I don't know if Fogel did, but I had no problem with the call simply because there was an injury.
He just totally validated your point, Zuby.
Yes,
Brownie
thank
has
you, Brownie.
completely redeemed you. Completely redeemed you.
You get 90. You get 44 Zuby points. Thanks, Brownie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw it differently. I think we saw a player move his leg out and brace for impact on another player's knee. Like when I see that, I'm like, that's an automatic 5. I can't stand hits from behind and knee to knees because I think there's a way to avoid it.
100%. Did you guys talk about Leon's elbow?
No, we're saving that for takeaways.
Okay, I won't say nothing.
But you know what? Actually, I did touch on it a bit. I guess I did touch on it.
We did. Yeah, we
Yeah, we
touched on
did.
it.
Go ahead, Brown, if you really want to steal the show. Go ahead.
I do believe the NHL will look at it and should look at it. But I think it'll be a fine. I mean, if Barkov's out for any part of this series, that is a huge moment of this series.
Oh,
Huge moment of this series. And it was an elbow, and it was directly to the head. So it should be something that the NHL looks at.
yeah. What happened post game? It was didn't Maurice just say no comment or no update or something? It was
I didn't
very
see
quick. I just heard him say it. I think that's.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing, right, Shogger? There was
I
nothing.
I didn't catch Maurice because I
Okay.
was live on SportsCenter and I was doing John
Okay.
show. So I
That's what I
called
heard.
Maurice tonight.
Yeah, Maurice did say. He said, I can't remember if he said no comment or no update, but it was the first question I believe of his presser, and he shut her down, faster than you can imagine. All right, let's step out here quick, guys. When we come back, we'll get to takeaways. Still lots to cover in this game. Lots to cover in this game here, talking about the way it's all going to play out and where do the Oilers go from here? Are more lineup changes coming? We'll get into that next here in the pod. Stay with us.
The fastest growing male grooming company on the planet just got even better. Backscape 2.0 with a revolutionary friction fit handle makes the razor easy to pop in and out to shave not only your back, but anywhere on your body. And those hard to reach spots just got even easier with the new ergonomic design. Backscape's new titanium shave head makes for a smoother, more comfortable shave that respects your skin. Backscape 2.0. Stay smooth, gentlemen.
On paper, my life looks exciting.
In reality, not so much.
Every day it's same old, same old.
Clock in, clock out.
Then I discovered Play Alberta. I can play casino games anytime.
Bet on any game.
And buy lottery tickets anywhere in Alberta. I think my spleen is ruptured.
Let's get to takeaways brought to you by our good buddies at Martin Motorsports. Martin Motorsports is passionate about cheering for the mighty oil and passionate about helping you get ready for your next weekend adventure. Whether it's on the land, on water, or on the road, we hope you begin your adventure with us. Stop in today to view our full selection of quad side-by-sides, towboats, pontoons, fishing boats, sea-doos, motorcycles, e-bikes, apparel, accessories, and more. Visit them at their 2 Edmonton locations on the west and south side. All right. Let's just, before we get to the power play conversation with you, Brownie, let's hear from the captain of the Oilers, 97, on his thoughts on the power play.
We got to work our way out of it. It always starts with work with our group. They're a unique penalty kill, just like they're a unique team. They're aggressive. We got to have guys ready for the puck. We got to have guys making good plays. You got to string good plays together, and we haven't been able to do that.
Brownie?
Well, I've said from the beginning of the playoffs that if you're going to kill penalties against the Oilers, you have to be aggressive. If you're passive like the LA Kings were, they will pick you apart. When I was on the power play, I loved passive penalty killers because it gave me time to think. I could find the best play.
Yeah.
It really is. I hated aggressive because it's an aggressive penalty kill makes you make 3 really good. Excuse me. You have to make 3 really good plays in a row to be able to create a scoring chance. And if anything goes in a skate or if it bobbles, it bounces, they're coming at you and attacking you. The Florida Panthers are very aggressive. And you'll see them, their defensemen will skate all the way almost to the blue line to force you to just put a little bit more pressure on you. And I think it has surprised the Oilers a little bit because a lot of teams are afraid of getting beat. So they stay in a very tight box. But the Oilers pick those apart. They're just so skilled that if you give Connor time, like I'm just going to skate around, eventually I'm going to find the pass. I think, bang, it's there. But when you're aggressive, you're forcing. I know Connor and Leon are the 2 best in the world, but you're forcing them to think a little bit quicker. And you're now forcing when Connor, okay, I got Nuge. Well, now he's being a guy's aggressive. Now he's got to make. So you have to make at least 3 great plays in a row to be able to beat an aggressive power play or a penalty kill. And the Oilers haven't done that. When you do get your look, you will have an open look, and you got to capitalize on it. Last game, it was Hyman in front with the backhand, missed the open net. Tonight was the look. It was Leon, where Bobrovsky made a really good save. But the days of getting the uncontested, wide open net shots are gone. You're not getting that against the Florida Panthers. They're good at getting in shooting lanes. They're fantastic at getting in passing lanes, and they will chase you to the boards, and they will finish their check. And that's not something the Oilers have seen. So the Oilers, they will adapt. They'll adapt. They always do. But you cannot be passive against the Oilers and have success. You can have a chance of success if you're aggressive, and that's what Florida is doing.
Yeah, there was a point, Brownie, in the last series where the Oilers' power play was running a little bit dry, and you could tell there was a complete change of thought process. You notice they all of a sudden started to, because they like to stretch it out a little bit, right? And then they look for that long cross team pass, dry saddle for the one time, or, through the middle over to Hyman on the other side. They like sending the puck at distance. There was a point in that Dallas series where they very clearly decided to work in a smaller area, and that area was more in and around the net. They were very focused on lower plays, shorter passes, and keeping it a little bit lower. Now, I know that's tough when the other team's being aggressive, but I really think more of a focus kind of on the blue paint, in and around, down low, and just really making a point of shooting some pucks. I thought early on they were way too fancy and were overpassing, and I know you think that, every pass McDavid makes is the right decision, but I really thought they did a disservice to their power play by not being more focused on the net with their first one.
Well, whatever Connor decides when the puck's on his stick is right. So I don't think you can question that. But what I would do is I would have a concerted effort of starting every power play with a shot from Bouchard. Everyone. You in the first 10 seconds get a shot from Bouchard, because what's going to happen? A, he might break a stick. B, it hits a shin pad and that guy's a little bit hobbled. C, it goes in the net. Or D, it creates chaos in front of the net. The Oilers are the best team in the NHL at puck retrieval. So if Bouchard doesn't score, he's going to get to the puck. And Struds, you've been a penalty killer in your career. When the puck all of a sudden gets shot from the point, now you're searching. The offensive players have an advantage because they're looking at the net. You're trying to find it. And to me, that was the most fun on a power play, because that's when you can make plays, because now you've stretched. As your defender, you're going to go chase that puck and you lose the race. Now you're stretched. Now you're at a position. Now we have you at our advantage. And I think that's why the Oilers should start every power play with a Bouchard shot.
Yeah, what you're talking about, Brownie, is just creating a reaction from the group, because right now it's very structured and they're aggressive structure. There's no doubt about it. But they're not having to read and react from the situation. How many times have we seen in the past where there's a puck going to the net and Hyman's in there and he's tapping pucks in or making something happen. There's really not a lot of that. They're either not allowing that shot to come through, or it's missing net, or Hyman's unable to get to that puck. So credit the Panthers D about what they're doing there. I wonder if you noticed, Brownie, about what they're doing when they get it. Leon gets the puck on, let's say, to the left of the goaltender on the hash mark. Connor's going all the way to the other side, the opposite hash mark. I believe he's looking for space, because he wants that puck to come up to Bouchard and over to him. And now he's got some space. He's trying to find it. But I don't think that right now he's able to find anyone to pass to, because the sticks are so good by the Panthers. So even when he goes around the net, and we've seen him do that lots of times, it feels like there's 5 Panthers out there, because I don't really see anyone who's open. Am I missing something there, or Connor missing something about who, when he comes around the net off that side, or there's a play? I don't really see the play.
Well, no, you're right. They're being aggressive, and they're forcing Connor. So he's not getting the time where he's, I'm going to wait here. You're going to move your stick. Now I'm going to make the pass. The Florida Panthers are well coached. They've got very good penalty. I mean, this is the second best penalty killing unit in the National Hockey League in the playoffs, only to the Oilers. So it's not like they're having this success for the first time. To me, it's all about the aggressiveness. They are forcing the Oilers to make plays before they want to. And we've watched this Oiler power play for years, where Connor or Leon will hold on to the puck and wait for that right play to be open, wait for it to open up. Okay, now I'm going to make the pass. Florida's saying, no, we're going to come at you. You better know where that puck is going. And it's just causing some confusion. And if you don't make 3 passes, and I think Connor said it actually tonight after the game too, we have to make multiple passes to break the aggressiveness. And it's not easy making multiple passes with aggressive players and sticks coming at you. It just isn't, because all of a sudden you get the puck, and if it bobbles once, someone's coming at you, and you're just throwing it to an area. So instead of blade to blade, it's now blade to foot, and then the guy kicks it up, and then he gets someone coming at him.
But to be fair, Brownie, what they're doing is when they're pressuring like that, they're kind of dictating where you can put the puck.
Yes.
So let's say whether it's going, let's say, from half wall up to the point, they know they're good in the puck there. So now they're putting pressure on that point man already and shrinking his space. So that guy throws a grenade over to the other side, and maybe it's just like you say, a half foot off, and that guy's another forward's already moving towards them to put pressure on them. So there's just no time.
Well, and actually, in one point on it all too, Struds, it's what Florida's doing is very similar to what the Oilers do. The Oilers are a very aggressive penalty killing unit, and they know where the puck is going at all times because they're dictating it. So the Florida Panthers kill the same way as the Oilers, and as you've seen, both teams are very, very good at penalty killing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add, and then I'm going to run upstairs here, guys. I'm back to the hotel, and I'll join next segment. But I was just going to add, I mean, we're seeing just a clinic in penalty killing, frankly, from both teams. It's been fantastic in this series. Now, the Oilers bent first, right? The Oilers broke first, but their penalty kill has been fantastic, too, for the most part.
Well said, buddy. All right. Make that long journey up to the elevator and then into your room, buddy. I know it's been
I'm just staring at the snack bar right now. So here's my options, guys, at the snack bar. I got Pop-Tarts. I got Milky Way, M&M's, Doritos, something called is there funny ones, sort of like onion ring things. I got to get something because I'm starving. I haven't eaten since, I don't know, I think it was like 5 o'clock.
Since supper?
So what am I, a big bag of Skittles? Any thoughts? Sun chips?
I'd suggest you skip it. That's my suggestion. Brownie might go a different way.
I would go with, I hate having a chocolate bar late at night. It tastes really good, but I'm like, and I just feel guilty afterwards.
Right.
Just go have a nice big glass of water. Just have a nice big glass of water. You'll feel better about yourself. Not a Pop-Tart. What are you, 6 years old?
Somebody
6 years old.
On the stream, they want to know what flavor of Pop-Tarts.
We got, what do I got here? I got 3 different flavors of Pop-Tarts. I got strawberry, I got blueberry, and I got s'mores. S'mores Pop-Tart here. These are all bad.
You know what Struddy would do? Skip them all, and he wouldn't even take the elevator. He'd take the stairs up to the room.
That's right. Do 1,000.
Well, you would actually probably, you would do. I was just going to say, you would do 20 push-ups before you got on the elevator.
Yeah, that's what I do. But
I'm compromising. I'm going with garden salsa sun chips. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Shogger has a flight of 3 stairs to get up to tackle.
He hasn't told anyone, but his room's on the first floor. He's actually walking just down the hallway.
He has to walk down. He's actually on -1. Okay, let's take a quick pause. When we come back, Brownie points and Struddy's Riddle. Stay with us.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com. Okay, heroes, are you trying to tough it out through a sports or life injury right now? Trying to prove your mettle by grinding through, gritting your teeth? Well, Redefined Health is here to say it's time to come on in. At Redefined Health, they'll high-five you for your toughness and then get to work on helping you fix the problem. Helping athletes and heroes find better balance, performance, and injury prevention. Visit redefinedhealth.com.
Here we go.
All right, we're back. If you're, I've got a ton of people watching on the YouTube stream. If you're on the YouTube stream, go on to the thumbs up button. The thumbs up button and hammer that thumbs up button. I won't call it what Shogger does it, but hammer that. Let's get that thing up there. Tell a friend we're having a great time. Tons of great interaction on the old YouTube stream. So go to the thumbs up side and hammer that thing home. Okay, let's jump into Brownie's points. Brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. I had some today. I pounded, I think, a whole bag. It was so good. Hamel's world-famous jerky is located right here in Alberta. Using prime Alberta beef, their jerky is available in 14 tantalizing flavors, including the famous sweet and spicy, which is what I had today. The jerky that went to the International Space Station. Family-owned and operates since 1962. This is a great game day snack and can be shipped to you anywhere in Alberta. Great fundraising packages for sports teams and schools. For the remainder of the Oilers playoff run, $99 for 3 pounds of jerky with free shipping. Shipping to anywhere in Alberta. Hop on to albertajerky.com to order yours and enter code Got Your Back for an additional 5% off. Brownie, what do you got for us today, old dog?
Well, I had lunch yesterday. My lunch was beef jerky. I was like, I started chewing on it. I'm like, I'm just going to have this for lunch today. It is really, really good.
Good.
My first one, I'm taking 9 brownie points away. I'm taking 9 brownie points away from the 9 Edmonton Oilers forwards that had 0 shots tonight. You are not going to beat the Florida Panthers if you only have 3 guys getting shots on net from your forwards. I mean, Connor, Leon, and Hyman, and I wonder how many of those were on their power play. So, no, I'm taking brownie points away. The Edmonton Oilers forwards, numbers 4 through 12, got to do a much better job at creating some chaos in front of a very good goalie. I'm going to give some brownie points, 55 of them, to Dylan Holloway, who led the team physically with 6 hits in tonight's game. Dylan Holloway trying to make a difference. If you're not scoring, find another way to be an impact in this hockey game, and Dylan Holloway was. I'm right now about to take 100 brownie points away from Ryan Rishaug, who right now I can hear eating his
Does he not know what's going on?
Chips. Does he not know that he's on air right now?
So annoying. Just get new headphones. I'm buying you headphones for once. It's so annoying, those things.
So 100 have just been taken away from old Sun Chips Rishaug for interrupting what could have been one of the greatest brownie points ever after a loss.
Thank you.
I'm going to give 67 brownie points today to Sam Carrick. He was inserted into the lineup because they needed a right-handed centerman. He was their best centerman tonight with 67% in the dot. There may be some changes, but the fact that he's the only centerman winning faceoffs, they will probably leave him in the lineup. I'm going to take 50 brownie points away from the Edmonton Oilers power play. In a game that was 1-1 going into the third period, the Edmonton Oilers power play could have made a difference in this hockey game. They created chances. They didn't create enough, but at the end of the day, the Oilers power play has to score for them to win the Stanley Cup. And to end on a positive, I am going to give out 100 brownie points to Mattias Ekholm, who played 25 minutes. He scored a goal. He had 3 shots. He had 2 hits. He had 5 blocks. If there's one Oiler that came tonight and brought his A game, it was Ekholm. I thought he was excellent in this hockey game.
Shogger, any other interruptions you want to put forward before we get into a discussion?
It's Zuby's decision when to let my audio be hot. And as far as I could see, I was not in the program monitor. So Zuby, you can feel free to hop in and defend yourself. But I mean, I can only, I don't know when I'm live.
Well, as soon as you pop in, you were there, and I muted you quickly. But
I know, it's just all I hear.
There was that also.
If Parker did that too, and you were recording something, you'd lose your mind.
Goodness.
Sorry. You guys, sorry. I know you guys are new at this on-camera thing, so the slightest distraction throws you off.
Well, no, that's not a slight distraction.
The people on YouTube couldn't hear me talking. I was getting people texting me saying, "Hey, I can't hear you. Rishaug's bag is too loud."
Pardon. All right.
And just to put a final thought in this thing, how fast did you eat those chips? Like, just pounding them all the way up. Like,
I'm just getting going on them right now. Go ahead and use Strudwick's World. I got my bag of chips.
No, there'll be complete silence.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll.
Let's get to Strudwick's
It's not
World.
right.
Where
And I'm
great
here,
things
someone has
happen
to put
every
their
day.
foot down.
Wait a minute, who
Now
said
that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products with locations in Calgary and Edmonton. If you're a contracted business or contractor, let DLR help you add final vents to your product line. Reliable, unmatched service with high quality North American made products. Visit DLRvinylproducts.ca. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the non-call on Stenlin, I believe. The Oilers on if you didn't see the game, the Oilers on the power play. And the puck gets nearly to the Panthers blue line. Stenlin gets it and he shoots it out. Now he sails it, a long distance down the rink and out of the rink. Right away, the Oilers' hands are up, saying that was thrown out of the old rink. So, they go. You can't tell it in real time because it happened so close and it was really tight. And I defend the referee and the linesman at this point. It was so close in real time, it'd be hard to tell. But as we saw the replay, it was clear that he started the movement of shooting it prior to the blue line. Apparently that's the rule. If you start before that, you shoot over. That's the way it goes. So listen, Oilers fans went crazy. My phone exploded. Even my kids who we were at the watch party watched, like, why isn't that a call? I'm going to tell you this. I've said this since day one. People want to have reviews. They want to have reviewable plays. I get it. But you know what? Once you open the door, where do you stop? You continue asking for reviews here and there. There's human error by the players and by the referees. Now, this is hard to see in real time. I think it would have been a pretty incredible call real time for it to happen. But I believe that there should be no reviews. Go back with have 0 reviews or review everything. I think a coach should be able to have a challenge and they review every single thing. They can review not liking the way the anthem singer did the anthem. That's how much review I want because there is a review all over the place. So they reviewed different hits. They reviewed the Fogle hit, which I think is fine. They probably should have reviewed the hit by Draisaitl instead of letting the linesman make the call. I'm guessing who made it on the 2-minute minor. So I believe it's all or nothing. I don't like reviews, but they're here. So let's have one free call on everything can be reviewed. Anything's a reviewable play.
I like that. It's funny. I defended the ref on this too, because unless you're 100% certain, you cannot give a team a 5-on-3. That changes the whole game. If the Oilers get a 5-on-3, the game has changed. It was so close. There's no way that linesman could be able to tell with 100% certainty in real time. Like, I had to watch it 3 or 4 times in slow motion, and I didn't know the rule either. I did because it starts in the zone, but by the time the puck leaves his stick, he's out of he's on the blue line. That if you're reviewing certain things in hockey, right there, that could have changed the entire hockey game. So I'm all for reviewing that. On our show with Chad, Reed went, and I guess there was a refereeing thing where they came up with new rules. And one of the things that's going in next year they're going to vote on is whether or not you can review pucks that go out of play.
Yeah, they can, I think.
But the only thing you can review is if it hits a stick or not. You can't review if it's at the blue line or not. That's what Reed. That was what Reed was reading.
If you're going to review it, why not review it all?
I agree, but that's what he said. What in the thing it says you can review whether or not it hits someone else's stick and deflected out, but it didn't say that you could review something if it's in the zone.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to make fans even more angry.
Here we go.
So This is
You got
what I
another
believe
bag of
is
chips?
happening. I have seen.
We
I've
got the
seen this
chips
happen.
and the chocolate bar.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen a couple of times, you guys. So because this is reviewable next year, I think the league is getting a head start on it, and I think they're reviewing them already. So what happens is, I saw this in the last series. The refs huddle together and they wave all the players away. They're like, go away, go away, go away, go away. And then you watch what happens. The linesman spins, goes to the penalty box, and he grabs a water bottle from a guy that's got a headset on. The guy with the headset says something. The linesman goes back into the huddle. The linesman talks for a second, and the refs get the call right. There was one that was reviewed. Was it game 6 or game 7 late in the game? They had to get it right. It was a critical moment. And that absolutely happened. If you go back, I'm not sure if it showed it on the broadcast or not. I have watched it happen 3 times. Linesman spins, gets a water bottle from the penalty box from a guy that's on a headset, the same guy that handles the headset and gives it to him when they're doing the reviews. The linesman goes back to the huddle, they have a chit-chat, and they get the call right. I believe they're already reviewing these, and they got a little system going in place. How's that?
Wow. Do you know who killed JFK?
Yeah, you can tell us
too. Like,
we didn't.
Come
land
on,
the
you
moon.
guys. This was good. This was a good little bit of
When-
inside. I'm in the rink, a little inside ball. You don't think that that's even notable or neat, or you just gonna make fun of me?
Do you believe that the Knicks, when they got Patrick Ewing, that ball was frozen, and that's how they felt and pulled it out?
And you know what? I heard? I heard that Tom Brady actually had the balls deflated so that he could throw them better.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Now
You know what? I wasn't gonna say anything about this, Struds, but there's someone that's been on the stream tonight that has been all over you. Damn it! Now I can't find it. Oh, this was gonna be so good.
That's another
This was gonna be
conspiracy
so
theory.
good.
Yeah, just keep them coming.
It's Thomas.
Zuby, you saw it. Is it
Yeah.
Thomas?
Thomas M.
He was like, hey, can we review all of Struddy's bad takes tonight? So yeah, Thomas,
Sure
I'm
you
with
can.
you, bud.
Feel free. I think you either can't review any or you review them all, and I'm fine with that. I'm. But to be honest, I wasn't on the ice today.
So you're saying?
I
so
can't
then
believe
now
you
you're
guys didn't
saying
like that more.
But now you're saying though that the NHL War Room decided that it was not.
That's why I said
That's
it would
right.
make you even more angry, because I believe they are looking at them already.
Yeah.
And they're passing it through.
They got sending a note. Will
No,
you be my
right through the guy
girlfriend?
with the headset. Right through the. I'm telling you, watch next time if it happens.
I'd be wearing a tinfoil hat with you, Shogger, if it hadn't gone that way tonight. It did. That's just.
Dave Morley says,
But I like
Schauger
it.
is such a nerd. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. I'll fly the nerd flag happily on this.
I was thinking that would be very mild to what I was thinking. It was.
I'm going to go. I'm going to let you guys finish the pod, so I will be tapping out now. It's 1:30 in the morning here.
How many bag of chips did you eat, honestly?
Okay, so I've got the sun chips. All right, but look, I'm going to come clean because in the spirit of honesty, I have the bag of sun chips. You guys heard me opening that. But I did crush a mini Snickers on the elevator
See,
ride.
I told you got the chocolate bar too. I knew he did.
I couldn't help it. It was right there, and I grabbed it.
I can't believe this guy suffers from the gout and a bad back.
Night, boys.
All right,
Good night,
you're out of here.
Shogger.
Okay,
No,
good
I'm
night,
out.
Shoggy.
Bye-bye.
Get some rest. I'm sure you'll feel great with those two things in your belly. Okay, let's let Shoggy's out. Let's take a quick pause. When we come back, take a lap. We're going to talk about any potential lineup changes we might see in that one. So that's next.
Spring is here, and if you're thinking of buying a new home during the housing market hot period, contacting a mortgage broker should be your first step. Maria Gallus with Maxwell Mortgages can guide you with a stress-free experience. With access to dozens of different lenders, Maria's simplistic approach and expert advice will have you ready to put an offer in on your dream home. Take the stress out of your mortgage journey. Contact Maria Gallus at mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca.
The Brindley family has made it their mission to create the best tasting flavored rums on the planet, and they've knocked it out of the park with their Shipwreck rums. Brewed off the small Caribbean island of St. Kitts, their spiced rum is aged 4 years in bourbon barrels and infused with natural vanilla. Their Shipwreck vanilla is blended with natural Madagascar vanilla, giving it incredible smoothness. One sip and you'll agree, it truly is a vacation in a bottle. Available at your local liquor retailer. Please enjoy responsibly.
Longshots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park in Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca.
All right, huge numbers here watching on the YouTube stream. So if you're on there, please get the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up button. That's a good thing for us, for you, for everybody, and even the hearts. But do the thumbs up, I think, more importantly. All right, let's take a lap now. Brought to you by Backscape, the fastest growing male grooming company on the planet. Just got even better. Engineered for back shaving, the new friction fit handle allows you to effortlessly snap the shaver in and out to touch up the rest of your body. Go to backscape.com, use promo code GYB10 for your 10% off your first order. Stay smooth, gentlemen. That's what Shauger's doing right now with a bag of chips in his hand. All right, a couple things I want to get to. Potential lineup changes. A, do you believe Nurse will be playing because of injury, Fogle suspended, or Draisaitl suspended before we can have any talks about the lineup, Brownie?
I think Nurse will play because he kept trying to play tonight. I think 3 days of rest, I think he will be back in the lineup. So I think Nurse will stay in, and then you decide, was Vinny better than what CC gave you? I mean, I guess you go with that. I mean, the Oilers were dominant in game one. They were not good in game two. Is CC back in the lineup, or is Desharnais in? It's one of those two, but I do believe Nurse plays. Fogle, you and I just talked off air. Fogle missed almost the entire game. So does the NHL, as you said, does that NHL say that's his 1 game suspension? He missed the whole game. I don't think Leon will be suspended, although I do believe that the NHL should look at it. And I think the Florida Panthers might make some noise if they rule Barkov out for next game. So I think all 3 of those players will play next game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Fogle, you missed so much time. I don't think it was like, I do think that he braced for impact, so it looks bad, but I don't think that's more than a game that he already got. I think Nurse plays as well. And then obviously along with, I don't think Leon's going to get suspended. Your point's interesting with Vinny. So let me put this up there and we'll talk about the forwards in a second. Vinny or CC? I think they got to try to create offense from anywhere they can. And right now it's not working. So I would actually go back to this season or series previous where we saw obviously Bouchard, Ekholm. I'm not changing those two, but I put CC with Broberg, and I would put Nurse with Kulak. I think they were creating more offense. Now, different team, different series. I get all that, but CC I think has 2 or 3 goals in these playoffs. I don't feel like Vinny is getting much offense going, at all. And that's, I was that guy. So that's why I think I can say it pretty fairly. So I think I'd reinsert CC, but I'd put those pairings back like we saw them in the previous series against the Stars, Brownie.
Yeah, I like that. I do. I think every time a player's had a reset, he's come back and been better. I think CC's a proud player. His first time he's been benched. He played, 100 games this year already. Yeah. I like Vinny. I love his story. I think I go back with CC as well. And I do like Kulak playing with Nurse. It'll be interesting. I mean, I honestly, I do believe that will happen next game. So that's my changes on the back end.
Okay. We're in agreement there. Now up front, we're assuming everyone's healthy. Everyone's going to play. Again, I think a theme has to be, how do we get offense going? What do we need to do to get going? If you're Knobloch, Coffey, and company. So I still think I keep the big guys apart. I'd probably leave McDavid's line the way it is, but Leon's line seems to be where they need the boost. They need to find some help. So, what boost are you looking to put Perry back in there? And then is it Kane? Is it Fogle? Is it Holloway? Like where do you look at that second line? Because I think you can't really talk about 3 and 4 till we establish what the second line looks like.
Well, and the problem is who outside of the top line in Leon is going. I mean, really, like Kane has struggled. He's not the same player, and that's injury has affected him.
Yeah.
100% injury has affected him. Perry didn't get anything done. He got himself pulled out of the lineup. Holloway has been quieter. I think he's been physical, but you haven't really noticed him with the puck on his stick. They're just Henrique had a quiet night tonight.
He did, yeah.
Actually, I don't even know who Leon's line was tonight.
He saw a lot of people.
Yeah, so it's like he played with everyone. So I honestly, I probably go back with Henrique as my third line centerman, and then I try to build around Leon. Give him Holloway, give him Fogle, something along that line. I thought McLeod was very, very quiet tonight. I didn't notice him at all. Leon needs someone to go to the blue paint, and he hasn't shown the ability or the want to do that. And I think that hurts his chances of playing with Leon. Does Janmark? I don't know. Janmark's a guy that at least plays with some grit, but you like him as a safety valve in your third or fourth line. So right now, honestly, I have a hard time with the injury to Kane and him not being where he needs to be or where he usually is, has really affected the Oilers' ability to make two full lines up top. So do you put Nugent Hopkins back with Leon and go that way?
2 and 2. Well, I think we've seen from this coach that he is willing to change things up. And that's not a knock. That's been a benefit. I'll say that it feels like this series, and especially tonight, Brown, you correct me if I'm wrong, it's becoming a very bored game, like hanging on to the puck, being strong on the wall. So I'm trying to get Leon's line going. The guy that I think all the players you talked about does the best is Corey Perry. Yep. He is really good. I don't think there's a lot of speed inside the zone. I think it's through the zone to get so quick, but in the zone, there's a lot of wall play and so I think he does that well. And if Leon knows maybe there's something there. Now, who's the guy on the other side? Someone on the other side has to be able to score. Holloway isn't probably going to do that in bunches. It's got to be Kane, but Kane isn't there.
No.
So
that's why do you move Nugent Hopkins down, put him with Perry and Draisaitl? It is hard.
Boost up.
Yeah.
So who do you boost up?
Do you put Holloway up with McDavid? Do you put Fogle? I don't know.
Henrique.
Yeah, Henrique.
Maybe that's it. So I mean, the problem is here that we're, we can't even get one line sorted out.
No,
and you're trying to get through, two. So I think let's just leave it here. We agree that there's going to be some changes.
Yes.
And I think it's the conversation starts around Leon's line. They need Leon's line to get going and score. Or
100%.
Yeah.
It has not been Leon. Again, I thought Connor was very noticeable tonight. He didn't hit his bar, but his bar is very, very high. I thought Leon had a quiet night and was frustrated. The penalty he took on Barkov was a frustration penalty. And whether he gets suspended or not, that penalty was the goal that gave the Florida Panthers the win in this hockey game. So that was a big penalty that he took.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that Leon has taken out of his game this whole playoffs. He's been very good, very in control, not taking any of the slashing penalties that he did the last couple of years. But that one there, he saw an opportunity to hit Barkov, which is good. But the elbow to the face, it was the right call. But they need him going. And I hadn't thought of it. Yeah, you're right. There's the way the Florida Panthers play. Like the first 40 minutes of game one, throw that away. That's not the Florida Panthers. They do not give odd man breaks up like they did in that game. They're not a team that allows you through the neutral zone with speed. So if you're going to be an in-zone type offensive team, Corey Perry is still effective at that. And he is very good in the blue paint. And maybe put him with Leon and allow Leon to put some magic and put the puck in front of the net for Perry to create havoc. So I do like that. I like having Perry with Leon next game.
Okay, final thought on this one. I got the text from Ryan Rishaug. He put his bag of chips down to text this in. He goes,
poor phone's got orange all over it now. From
it does.
Dust
Yeah,
off the chips.
So Holloway, McDavid, Hyman, and then Nuge, Leon with Connor Brown.
Oh, wow. Connor Brown has
that leaves Henrique, Janmark, Kane,
Perry?
their third line.
Or Kane, yeah.
McLeod's still in there, Fogle. So, yeah, you know what? I think I feel, and I feel like he's going to surprise us. He being Knobloch, I think he's going to surprise us here.
I think the biggest thing is, and you're 100% right. They got to find a way to create something out of their second line. They need Leon's line going.
They do,
and because I think, well, if Barkov's out, if he's out, then all of a sudden, was it Lundell? He moves up into that spot? Well, now all of you can take advantage of a Florida team. The Barkov is all world. He is an incredible hockey player. That would be an incredible loss. Now I have no idea maybe he was just in concussion protocol tonight. I don't know, but he did not look good leaving the ice. But they need something. They need two lines that they can throw out in game number 3. There's no such thing as a must win until you're facing elimination. But game 3 is very, very important for the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, it's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge.
And it's going to be crazy downtown too. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be loud, Struds. This is when you want to get there early just to feel the atmosphere.
Yeah, we're going to be, my wife and I are going.
You're going to go listen to, what is it? My Lady Peace? Is that the name of the band that's playing beforehand?
Our Lady of Peace.
Our Lady's Peace.
And then Shania Twain.
Shania on Saturday.
Any man of mine. It's so fantastic.
You know what? You should probably see, you probably know Shania. See if we can get on stage with her.
Yeah.
Sing with her.
Do a little two-stepping. All right, let's get to hear what everyone else has to say. And that is Ask Us Anything, brought to you by our old good buddies at Play Alberta. The playoffs are wild.
No, this is Reenie there. Brownie, are you going to stick? Brownie, are you going to stick?
Brownie, you're out, buddy. Sorry,
I've been watching Struddy here. I was just wondering how he was going to pull this one out. But he's doing really, really well.
No, that's my first mistake in 82 games. Okay, so Brownie, are you out of here, buddy? Yeah, you're out of here. Thank you.
I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. Good night, everyone.
Get some rest.
All right,
Thank you
take
for
care,
reminding me.
All right,
Ask
see you
Us
guys.
Anything, brought to you by Rennie Bouclain, the Shark of the Park of Maxwell Devonshire Realty. Whether you're buying or selling a home, your success hinges upon the expert advice and services provided by your real estate agent. Rennie is committed to providing clients with professional services based on experience, knowledge, and skills. Call her for a no obligation quote at 780-994-0280. What are the people saying?
Let's see. Okay, well, I don't know if you'll feel like you have time for this one, but this is a common refrain from some of the folks, and they're talking about diving and embellishment, and that they feel that the Panthers are worse at it. So let me find the one comment, if I can find it quickly. Davin said, Broberg got smoked in the head, but he isn't coached to play dead, so nothing happened. So let me just say, I don't play into this theory too much, but it would be factual to say that a number of Panthers players stayed down after plays tonight, and I don't recall any Oilers players doing the same. Is there anything to this in your opinion?
So there was a cross-check Vinny gave, I want to say is Bennett, and Bennett went down like he was hit by a Mack truck. Then the play they're referring to, the hit on Broberg, it was a good hit. I thought it was a little high. Now, the angle we had on TV wasn't the best. Maybe it was different in the building, but I didn't think it was that good. But I would never want to win by diving. I just think, and Chris Knobloch said it before, that's not how we play. It's not how we coach our team. I quite frankly think it's embarrassing. So I do actually think that Listerrainen, or whatever his name was injured or nicked up on that play because his knee to knee. But some of the other are diving. I would like to see the refs call some diving. They'll never call it. They'll never ever call it the Stanley Cup Final.
Not in the final.
So no, I just think that's winning without honor, and I quite frankly hate it. I would never coach my team to play that way ever. You win it like you're just meant to be playing, standing up.
And I thought Tkachuk with the big on the Broberg. There was a little shot there, but that was a huge head whip from Tkachuk, and he drew the penalty, right?
Yeah, and that's fair. But listen, they're coming back to Edmonton now. I think that the fans are going to be absolutely crazy on Thursday night, and I look forward to seeing how that shakes out.
Okay, Struds5 had said, McDavid working hard but needs to play a simpler game, which he has probably never really had to do. He's so talented, but sometimes less is more. Certainly, someone else made a comment, a joke. Let me see. Tim DT said, at least all of their toe drags are cute. They don't ever get a shot, but they look cute. It seemed like there was a lot of that tonight, or even actually both the first two games when McDavid's really stick handling, that it ends up being not a shot on net, not a high danger chance. Does he need to simplify?
Listen, they're doing a tremendous job. Number one job in your own zone is to stay between your man and the net. Failing that, let's say that I am no longer able to do that. The next guy steps up and stays between the man and the net. And I think the Panthers are doing a great job. They're doing a great job staying between the man and the net. And even on the point shots, they're doing a good job of that. So I believe there are opportunities to shoot it maybe sooner, but that's what I'm seeing on TV. What they see on the ice is probably not the same. So let's say that there's, whatever percentage of 100% of the time we feel like they could shoot when they shoot. Let's say only 50% of those times they actually have a lane to the net. Still take that lane, still take that shot and get guys to the net. Make life a little bit more comfortable for Bobrovsky. I just want to get to this. Someone said, Struddy, you wouldn't play that way. The Panthers are winning. I get it. But I just think it's very cheap. I get they're winning. I would never coach my team to play that way, ever.
I'm going to finish up the poll here. Speaking of you were giving credit to the Panthers D for especially the way they're playing McDavid. So the poll question was the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center poll was, what do you blame the most for the Oilers' lack of offense in games 1 and 2? And I think putting games 1 and 2 there probably kind of split the vote a little bit, but the winner was the credit to the Panthers D, 44%, power play struggles, 30%, Sergei Bobrovsky getting 15%. And puck luck actually getting 10%. Maybe those couple three posts tonight looming large for folks. 431 votes there on that. Okay, there was another one. Martin Ferguson said, and this is another. I don't all subscribe to all these fan theories, but I know they all want to hear this from you. So Martin Ferguson said, maybe the ice in Florida is as soft as a cashmere scarf freshly knitted by Struds, and it's slowing them up. So we know, of course, always both teams are playing on the same ice. Did you have any thought, anything you saw about the ice? Is coming home to the Edmonton ice a big advantage? And when are we going to see? I think we might need the scarf for the next pot, especially if we're doing one, because you said we might need that to turn the tide here.
That's fair. I think if there's ever time for a couple China Whites and a scarf, it's going to be our next pod for sure. So remind me prior to it. I'll drag them both out. The ice it's a difficult one for me because there's really nothing you can do about it. You just got to play through it. I don't think though the ice is limiting the Oilers' ability to get pucks to the net. That's the Panthers, right? So it's not like they had a great chance and it just bobbled over their stick and they weren't able to get to the net, right? I think it's a little different. So yeah, is ice going to probably be better in Tim? I believe it is, because down there it's got to be so humid. How do you make ice when it's like a Slurpee all around you?
Okay, you guys talked a little bit about lineup stuff. I didn't hear every single word, but lots of people still want Sam Gagner, and they're talking about the Gagner effect, the home, for game 3, even for one game. And someone did say, Corey Jeffrey said, Kane is too injured to be effective at this time and needs to be replaced. Now that obviously isn't like a direct replace, those aren't two of the same player, but any thoughts on Gagner coming in? And do you think sitting Kane for a game to give him 5 days could be still a benefit in the longer run, or is he just got to wait till the end of the season before he's going to be any better? Yeah,
I think it's all hands on deck. I'd be surprised if Kane came out unless he's really, they feel like he's really laboring. Sam Gagner, man, I'd love to see him go in there, but he hasn't played for over 2 months, everybody. The end of the season, that's a long time. It's not like Vinny, who sat out 4 games, or, Broberg, who I guess was pretty recently hadn't played, but just Sam, I mean, the energy would be crazy because he does find a way to help. So then who comes out, right? That's another, it's probably Carrick and Brian out. I think it's unlikely. I get the effect that you're hoping he brings in and help create some offense, and maybe he would. But I have a hard time. I don't know. I think that'd be just because he hasn't played in so long, right? But I'd love to see it, obviously, as a fan of his. Got a couple more?
Last one. Let's do. We're long here, so last one, and then we'll wrap it up. Drew Litke said, it took a couple games for Knoblauch to figure out the last couple series. Hopefully the injuries don't limit that ability this time. But do you have confidence he's going to continue to work his magic, tinkering, and find something positive going into game 3?
Well, I said that before the series, and honestly, guys, he did it the last 2 series, so why can't we believe he can do it this time, right? And injuries might play into it, but they have a couple days here now to kind of settle in and figure out what's gone right and what's gone wrong. And based on what we've seen from Knoblauch, he can figure it out in 1 day. He doesn't need 2. So let's see what happens here with that. All right. Great stuff from all of our listeners. We appreciate that. Again, if you're on the YouTube stream, get on the old and pump up the like button with a thumbs up. Let's get to our gem of the day, brought to you by Play Alberta. The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code GYB50 to snag a $53 sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for the unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boosts on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive suite tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on the Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply. I have a hard time coming up with a Oilers one for this one.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go with, I'm probably going to go with the Rodriguez goal 1 or 2. They were both great. The guy's a great story. He hasn't played a lot in the playoffs. He's got 3 goals in this series. The Oilers have 1. So pick his goal, goal 1, goal 2. I'll probably go with goal 1, but that to me
was the game winner.
The story, just the whole story, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to give it 2. If I had a vote, I would be voting for Rishaug and his snacks.
Oh my God. You got to mute him till it's incredible. And he'd be losing. If we did that to him, he'd absolutely lose it on us. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I think Thursday is I'm going to say it's must win. I know it's not must win, but I'm calling a must win. They got to get a 1 on the board. And then we got a whole new series here. So thank you everyone tuning in. Thanks for all the likes. Enjoy tuning in where you can find the platforms tomorrow. I missed anything, Zoobs?
No, the chat was great. Coming off a lost teams in a big hole, and the chat was mostly really cool to everyone tonight. And they had some interesting stuff, and they're passionate, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good show.
Great show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. On behalf of Rishaug, myself, Zuby, and of course the great Rob Brown. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our podcast tomorrow morning. Have a great time. We'll be back with either one. I think it's Wednesday night. Talk to you guys then.